It is day 2 of jury deliberations in Sean Combs' sex trafficking trial. And right now, the group of 12 is sorting through the massive amount of evidence in this complex case. Here are the charges that they are considering: racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
Now, the government alleges that Combs was at the helm of a criminal enterprise and used his employees to help commit several crimes. But Combs' defense is downplaying the extent of his criminal activity. They admitted to the jury that he was guilty of domestic violence, but they said his so-called freak-offs were consensual. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas joins us now from just outside that courthouse. Chloe, we're learning there was actually a note from the jury not too long ago. What did it say?
Hey there, everyone. So this is the 5th note that the judge has received from the jury, and specifically they're requesting some testimony. They want to look at Cassie Ventura's testimony in which she spoke about that 2016 incident that took place at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles when Combs was brutally beating her, that was caught on security video and later released by CNN. So they want to look at that. They also want to look at some testimony from her about another incident, a violent incident with Combs that took place in Cannes over in France, and also 2 testimonies from different escorts. And they want to see what these men had to say and read that back. So this is really interesting because if you're looking at the jury sheet that I have in my hands, right, you might infer from all of this that perhaps they're already on to count 2 and count 3. Now, that's pure speculation. Count 1 had to do with RICO conspiracy, and one of the notes yesterday dealt with one of those predicate crimes of RICO conspiracy, specifically drug transportation. So again, if you're reading tea leaves here, guys, then they're going count by count in order, and that could mean that maybe we're at the midway point.
You know, Chloe, there was a back and forth in court this morning over another jury note regarding drug distribution. What was the confusion there?
What they wanted to know yesterday had to do with the jurors wanted to understand that if an individual requested drugs from Combs and it was willfully given to them, does that count as drug transportation, or giving it to Cassie or giving it to Jane when they asked for it? Does that constitute as transportation of drugs, right? Because it can mean many things. One might think, oh, that could be drug trafficking, where you're taking potentially kilos of drugs across the country. We know that Jane testified, one of Combs' former girlfriends, that she actually took drugs on an airplane more than once at Combs' request to bring it to his home in Miami. But Combs' team arguing that this was personal use drugs, that the quantities were small, and that really, if you read the law, it has to do with an intent to distribute on a much larger scale. And they're saying that this does not meet the prosecution's bar.
All right, Chloe Melas for us outside that courthouse in the heat of this. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.